follow up for you and I'll assist you, as well as other colleagues in getting that response. Okay. Okay, let me go back to Paul. Paul, when was the first time South Africa had presence of troops in the DRC? If my counting is correct, it's been 20 years now. It began through our contribution to the UN peacekeeping force in the DRC, and that was during the later years of the Mandela administration, if you'll recall. That's how far back? 23 years. 23 years, correct. And so to reduce such a long commitment to the attainment of peace in the DRC, in our continent, to the protection of mining interest, is completely devoid of any truth, and it lacks the knowledge and the appreciation of South Africa's role in ensuring peacekeeping or ensuring the stability of our continent. We've been involved in over 20 peacekeeping initiatives on the continent, the latest being Mozambique, where last year we began a phased withdrawal. We were part of a SADC peacekeeping force there. There were never any accusations of our involvement there being directed at the protection of any economic interest. We were there as part of a SADC mandated peacekeeping force to protect lives and to ensure stability in our neighboring country. And so we will reject those assertions because they also are devoid of any facts, but more disappointingly, they just lack the appreciation of South Africa's long involvement in ensuring that we enjoy a greater deal of stability and peace on our continent in pursuit of economic development, amongst other things. And so that we will reject, and anybody who says otherwise will then have to present proof thereof. On the issue of engagements between, this is Babalo, between Elon and the president as well as President Trump. Look, Babalo, the US is our second largest trading partner. We have a long-standing strategic political, trade, as well as cultural relationship. And it's a relationship that we respect. It's a relationship that has always been mutually beneficial, and it will continue being mutually beneficial. Therefore, where there are bumps, as we have recently experienced, it will always be in our interest to engage with various role players within the leadership of the country, but also broadly in society in the US. Year before last, the president held a roundtable with American captains of industry. A large number of them represented over 600 US companies that operate in South Africa. And the engagements touched on a number of issues that impact business in South Africa, but also opportunities that are ripe for investments in our country. And therefore, considering all of those elements, it is important that we work on maintaining that relationship, but also we work on growing and expanding that relationship. And so we will get over the current bumps, we will clarify the issues that need to be clarified, and we will respond expeditiously to disinformation and mischaracterization of our laws, as well as of the general state of the country. And in so doing, we will engage all the relevant stakeholders and we will communicate our position publicly as we've done. So there will be more engagements, not only with the Trump administration and influential figures such as Elon Musk currently in the US, but with other role players as well in the US. And those engagements will take place at multiple levels. Ministerial level, we have an ambassador now in Washington, Ambassador Rasul, who's hit the ground running. He will be spearheading some of our engagements with various levels of the Trump administration. Minister Lamola will be reaching out to his counterpart in that regard. For the G20 foreign ministers meeting, we are hoping that Secretary Rubio will attend. If he does not attend, we know that there will be a delegation of senior officials representing the State Department and the Trump administration, which we will have an opportunity to engage with. And so on the basis of that, those engagements will be ongoing. Let me tie this response then to Lulama's follow-up on the possibility of a visit to the U.S. Generally, the president is always committed to attending the United Nations General Assembly. And sometimes on the margins of UNGA, engagements are then held with a number of countries. I think it was back in 2022, we started in Washington. The president held a meeting with former President Biden at the time. And so I can't really commit on that travel, but it's generally accepted commitment that the president will attend UNGA, and when he does, then he engages in various bilateral meetings. We're still hoping, Lulama, that President Trump will visit South Africa ahead of the G20 summit when we get that final round of heads of states, and it remains President Ramaphosa's intention to welcome him on a state visit. We're hoping that there'll be time even for a round of golf. We've been trying to urge the president to just steal a bit more time and get his swing back in order and back in the groove, so that when he takes President Trump out for a round of golf, he's able to put up a decent game. And so that remains an intention, that the president welcomes President Trump on a state visit, and that will afford then the two of them an opportunity to engage over a whole range of issues of mutual interest, but also issues that may be regarded as of bilateral concern, either in South Africa or elsewhere in the world.
Zeit für eine Kaffeepause. Bist du arbeitslos und gemeldet im Jobcenter? Dann verändere dein Leben jetzt in...
Have I left a question? Spamandla, I started with you. I think, okay, you asked about a conversation between President Trump and President Ramaphosa. We don't have any timelines yet in terms of when that conversation will take place.